Hello my dear students, welcome back. Today I am going to teach science of class 7 and we are going to start a new lesson. So before starting the lesson, let me help you to recall what you have learned in the previous lecture and previous class, which will help you to understand today's topic easily. So in chapter 1 we have discussed about nutrition in plants. Chapter 1 we have discussed about nutrition in plants. Nutrition in plants. So regarding nutrition in plants, we have already discussed that they can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis high processing na plants can make their own food. But the question is animals. So regarding animals cannot prepare their own food like plants. So the question is how animals get their food. So today's topic is nutrition in animals. So today's lesson is nutrition in animals. Nutrition in animals. So nutrition in animals. So in this lesson, this is lesson number 2. In this lesson we have introduction part in the starting of the lesson and 4 subtopics along with 4 subtopics. So we are going to discuss introduction and 2 subtopics. So out of 4 we are going to discuss only 2 subtopics. So let's start with the introduction, which is given in the starting of the lesson itself. So in the starting it is mentioned that animals get their food from plants either directly or indirectly. Animal nutrition includes, so what is animal nutrition? Animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement. It includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food, mode of intake of food. So animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food, and its utilization. How it is utilized in the body of the animal, and its utilization in the body. So animal nutrition nutrient requirement mode of intake of food and its utilization in the body. Utilized the components of food such as carbohydrate and carbohydrates complex substance. These complex substances cannot be utilized as such. Carbohydrates direct animal body utilized. First they have to be broken down into simpler substance and complex components like carbohydrates, which is a breakdown into simpler substances. So the breaking down of complex components, example like carbohydrates, into simple substances is called digestion. Digestion. So what is digestion? The complex components of the food. So the breaking down of complex components of food into simpler substances is called digestion. So the first topic of today's lecture is different ways of taking food. You will find the topic in page number 11. There is different ways of taking food. Animals singina kamaina chai sab makhalam ta manade sa khene bai matung ina sa bai mom ta manade. The mode of taking food into the body varies in different organisms. Amaga sa ahing bajiba amaga khene bai matung ina mode of intake ta khene mode of intake lo ina ma khene. So bees and hummingbirds are taken as an example in your textbook. Bees and hummingbirds suck. Mode of intake, they suck the nectar of plants. Infant of humans is also taken as an example. Infant of humans, and many other animals feed on mother's milk. Snakes is also snake like the python swallow. The animals they prey upon, they swallow toba, suck toba. Some aquatic animals filter tiny food particles floating nearby and feed upon them. Chavi mosi amagam tamanade ahing bajiba khena bagi matung inna chabi mung som ta manadi having example you see. So scraping, chewing, sipping, capturing and swallowing, sponging, different types of different mode of taking food is given as an example in your textbook. So the next topic is digestion in humans. Humans the digestion ka main thoi having batang digestion in humans. Digestion in human. Digestion is the mamang da I know hek horopada. So in the starting of the lecture I have mentioned that digestion is the process of breaking down complex substances into simpler substances. Digestion is complex substance to direct utilize the absorb the complex substances cannot be absorbed directly or cannot be utilized directly. For example, carbohydrates cannot be utilized as such. They have to be first they have to be broken down into simpler substances. Masigi simpler substances the kaitha basibo khona kai kawi digestion kawi. So digestion means breaking down of complex substances to simpler substances. So now we are going to learn digestion in humans. Second topic, sorry. So the second topic today we are going to discuss is digestion in humans. Digestion in humans. Digestion in humans. So let's start. The food digestion see organ mayam pullaga work to wini. So the digestion starts from buccal cavity. Buccal cavity di horaga. Buccal cavity di horaga. It starts from buccal cavity and ends at the anestheloiduni. Marakta parts mayam yawi. Masiki parts hai. These parts together form the alimentary canal. Masiki parts mayam se punjal laga. Akone alimentary canal kawi na toka digestive tract so hai. Ade akoi da glands kare sulei. Salivary glands gumba, adiyatopa liver lady, pancreas lady. So the digestive tract and the associated glands. Digestive tract tuga maga mari lainari ba glands singduga pullaga koina digestive system ko. Digestive tract haragana buccal cavity diga hoga in spogi the yaw parts mein hamsi punjalaga digestive tract kawi. Digestive tract along with their glands, associated glands, salivary glands gumba, liver, pancreas gumba, masi mayamsi yausala agana digestive system go. So let's start with the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity di horoga food si kamaina digestion tawi engasi aduga haksang di kamaina thoki kai di thoki du naina si. So let's start with the digestive process of human. It starts from the buccal cavity. So you will find the topic in page number 12. The mouth in the buccal cavity. The mouth in the buccal cavity. The mouth and the buccal cavity. The mouth and the buccal cavity. So the digestion in humans, the digestion starts from the mouth and the buccal cavity. So food is taken into the body through the mouth. Ingestion. 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 We chew the food with the help of teeth and break down mechanically into small pieces. Yana size pithalini tumada mating pangnaba adi akhoi mouth to salivary glands yawi masigi salivary glands ina kai pirani saliva pirai and this saliva breaks down the starch kai don thok toiba into sugar don thoi starch ti kai no carbohydrates ki starch is carbohydrates. Starch is also one of the form of carbohydrates, and carbohydrates is a complex substance. So the digestion starts complex substance sugar on top with the help of salivary gland, with the help of saliva. Digestion starts in the mouth itself. Digestion starts sugar with the help of salivary glands or saliva, you can say. Masidagi stomach ta yorani kanagi matengna food pipe ki matengna. The next part of the digestive system is the food pipe. The food pipe. Food pipe. Food pipe. So esophagus kawi. Esophagus kawi. So the next part of the digestive system is the food pipe. which is also called esophagus. Esophagus in the swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. Akuna chinda chasan ingestion to grividu yana sairo matungda stomach te yohon gadu isi food pipe ki mating nani masi esophagus su kawi ha. Adu matungda third part of the digestive system is stomach. Stomach te ore adagi. Stomach te ore. The stomach see the stomach is a thick walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened J and flattened J and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal ki widest part ni. It receives food from the food pipe and one end and opens into the small intestine at the other. Food pipe ki magi machine ani pali amana food pipe ni amana small intestine ni. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus yarn, then hydrochloric acid yarn, hydrochloric acid yarn, then digestive juice yarn, digestive juice. Mucus ki function ka the mucus protects the lining of the stomach, protects lining of the stomach from damage. Hydrochloric acid tholokpana maram moidana lining of the stomach to soak the damakta protect the mucus nani. Hydrochloric acid china the acid kills many bacteria. When it's many bacteria and it also activates, makes the medium in the stomach and helps the digestive juices to act. It activates hydrochloric acid, kills bacteria, and it also activates digestive juice to activate the digestive juice ki thaboksine keno it break down the proteins. Protein is also a complex substance, so it needs to be broken down into simpler substance. Protein is a complex substance. Simpler substance on top of the kanana mating pange digestive juice na kaya top of digestive juice stomach to. So stomach to kaya la ani degi the chin da we starch carbohydrate digestion hogre stomach to protein digest hogre next the small intestine la ani complete digestion se kaya thoi hai the small intestine ni. So this is the next part of intestine. This is the next part of digestive system. Complete digestion se kai de thoi haragadi small intestine de thoktu. Small intestine. So asagi stomach de small intestine la ani it receives secretion from the liver. Liver dagi secretion ama phangani madu ki secretion to koina bile kawi. Then pancreas besides its wall also secretes juice. Pancreas teki su lakani madu ki pancreas ki dana koina pancreatic juice hai. Pancreatic juice liver teki su small intestine da bile ko bama changi liver dana secrete to uni bile ki store to busina gallbladder de store to roga thami liver da ma ki store to bom leite liver na sungma khaktani pancreas ki pancreatic juice sulani. Bile ki function sina kaino bile ki function sina fats to mating pangi. Fats it's also a complex substance and it is converted into simpler substance with the help of bile which is secreted by liver. Adu thok to mafam sina kaida small intestine. And pancreas is the last cream color gland located just below the stomach. Pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates. Pancreatic juice the carbohydrates to carb to su egg tawima, then fat su egg tawima, and protein su loina break down to woman. So the remaining carbohydrate, fats, and proteins are converted into simpler substance by the pancreatic juice secreted by the pancreas. So small intestine complete digestion sikai thoi haragadi small intestine thoi. In intestinal juice, IDC pancreatic juice ni all just intestinal ki juice amusu lejari completes the digestion of all components of the food. The intestinal ki liver deki tholok bile, pancreas pancreatic juice. So along with these two, one more is there which is called intestinal juice. Intestinal juice also completes the digestion of all components of the food. Digestion carbohydrates. Carb are converted into simpler sugars such as glucose. Carbohydrates in glucose on granny. Then fats na kay on granny. Fats are converted into fatty acid. Fats are converted into fatty acids. Then proteins na kay on granny. Proteins are converted into amino acids. So when how we were topic to digestion in humans, digestion means breaking down of complex substances into simpler substances. Complex substances the carbohydrate, fats, proteins. When is the carbohydrates digestion it is converted into glucose, fats, fatty acid, proteins, amino acids, and complete digestion takes place at small intestine. The complete digestion now it is the time for absorption or utilization by the body. Absorption in the small intestine. Next topic is absorption in the small intestine. Absorption. Next step is absorption in the small intestine. So after the completion of digestion, foods are now it is the time for utilization of the food by the body. So digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the walls of the intestine. This process is called absorption. So what is absorption? Digested food singdu blood vessels the sangidoiba kanagi matingna in the wall of the intestine. Masibu absorption kawi. The inner wall of the kanana mating pangi, the villi na mating pangi. Villi the inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. Finger-like outgrowth lay masiki mating na digested food singdu absorb to gidoini the blood vessel the yaw gidoini. Villi ni amna mating pangi. The surface of the villi absorb the digested food materials. The absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels. Digested food singdu kaida thagi doino blood vessels. Blood vessel the yaw gradi kedorni. It can be transferred to different parts or different organs of the body very easily through blood vessels. Transported and to different organs of the body where they are used to build up complex substances such as the protein required as of digested food to small intestine the yaw villi dugi mating na blood vessels the yaw grani have the e the yaw grani the different organs may am the yaw matungda magi sizinarani masigu minus sizina basibu masi different organs the yaw magi daga oiba sizina budubu maduna assimilation go assimilation different ngasagi digested food villi gi mating na loction maduna absorption kawi absorption lower matungda ngasagi blood vessels the yaw grabanina different organs in the yorani madugi organs in the magi daga oiba singdu sizina buduna loction buduna assimilation kawi. So in the cells glucose, for example, glucose lowers glucose blood vessels the yaw blood the yaw matungda the glucose breakdowns with the help of cells the yorakanda. Glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen ki matin akon honsili oxygen ki matin breakdown with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide fangani, then water fangani, carbon dioxide fangani, water fangani, then energy fangani. Energy se kai dela ye hadi akon asan give carbohydrates to digestion to matung the glucose olani absorption toroga assimilation toroga matung da cells da glucose to ga akon honsili oxygen se ka pull kanda carbon dioxide, water and energy fangani. Masi energy sin akoina sizinari si. So the food that remains undigested and absorbed enters into the large intestine. So the last topic of today's lecture is large intestine. Large intestine then absorb the hodaba sindhu the lahani. So the food that remains undigested, digest the hodaba and unabsorbed, digest the hodaba among the small intestine, absorb the hodaba sindhu and this in the large intestine. The changani large intestine function sin kaino absorbs water. Water absorbed toxically undigested food natraga unabsorbed food the yaw riba water to man absorbed toxically and some salts from the undigested food material salts curso absorbed toxically salts yaw basinsu. The remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as a semi solid feces. Rectum the store toro laigani kana drava singduna rectum the store toro laigani. whereas to passes into the rectum and remains there as solid, semi-solid feces on a layer. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is called ejection. अखोई हक्सांग दगी अखोई ना पामद्रबा कानाद्रबा सिंधु चटखनी through kaida remove through the anus from time to time. मसीगी अखोई हक्सांग दगी कानाद्रबा थोकी बुजिबु अखोई ना ejection कोई ejection. This is called ejection. So with this I will summarize what we have learned today. Today we have discussed about what is the definition of nutrition in animals, and we have discussed about what is digestion. We have discussed what is digestion. Then we have discussed different modes. We have discussed different ways of taking food. Then the most important topic of today's lecture, that is digestion in human. We have discussed digestion in humans. Masidi parts में हम चंगे पुलब वक्त तो मिनारेगा अखोई दा काना बा कमाइने फंगी digestion कमाइन तो हुआ वैसे नहीं नगरे. So nutrition in animals definition, digestion we have discussed definition, different ways of taking food, and digestion in humans we have discussed. So after summarizing what we have learned today, now it is the time for evaluation. So to evaluate yourself, to check whether you understand the topic or not, try to find the answer of these questions. Where is the bile produced? Where is the bile produced? Bile si kaide puthoi kanana puthoi. Question number 2. What are villi? Villi have we can. What are villi? What are villi? So you are not supposed to write the answers in your classroom notebook. These questions are only for evaluation. That means it will help you to check whether you understand the topic or not. So you can listen to the lecture again and again, or you can take the reference of textbook also. So question number 1 is where is the bile produced? And question number 2 is what are villi? So with this I conclude my lecture, and the remaining subtopics of lesson number 2 will be discussed in the next class. Thank you. Thank you.